Welcome back to the last session of the day. This session, they will talk about and explore new activities, increasing support. And at this time, I would like to pass on my role to Vice President of FINA, Neuburger. He will lead the discussion, and we are also very lucky that we have 30 minutes to discuss afterwards. So thank you, Dale.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be with you. I'd like to ask the 4 members of the panel to come to the stage at this point. We will introduce each of them prior to their presentation and give you a little more detail about what they will present as well as their backgrounds. It's a pleasure to have them join us. Thank you. I'm going to give a short introduction about the FINA Development Program and then turn it over to 4 individuals who have great experience within their national federations and within their continental associations with the FINA Development Program in various ways to give you an idea of both the range and the breadth of the program and what's been accomplished over the last several years. The FINA Development Program is a really important element of FINA activities. And so I give you at the beginning of this at least the mission and objectives and principles of the program. We, in addition to providing great competition, as we will here with the 25-meter World Championships, it's important for FINA to be able to develop the sport, promote the sport, and make sure it truly is global, that our sport is truly worldwide and has participation from throughout the world. The primary objectives of the FINA Development Program are listed here for you, but in general it's to make sure that the proficiency, the educational elements of our sport across 6 disciplines are well constructed, and that we have a chance to do this truly on a global basis, on a worldwide basis. I think the important principles that you see listed on the screen right now give you an idea of what our kind of guiding principles of our activities. One, to make sure we're doing it across all of the FINA disciplines, all 6 disciplines. It's not just swimming. It's really to make sure that we have the breadth across all of the activities within the FINA program. We also want it to be all 5 continents. We want it to be truly a global effort, not just centered in one part of the world, but really to provide development of different types throughout the world. We recognize that each continental association has different needs, has different capabilities, different circumstances across what are between 17 federations and continental associations at the smallest to 52 at the largest, and all the differences in geography and capabilities and both human and financial resources that you might understand. We want to use the best people, the coaches and officials, referees, judges who are part of this program are truly the best in the world at what they do. And that's a hallmark of this, is to make sure that those who have the most proficiency are passing on their skills, their capabilities to others. We have great administrative support within the FINA office, and the ability for us to make sure that there are those who are going to carry out what is a very complex program, a very large program that takes place 12 months a year across all 5 continents. And to the extent possible, we're going to try to use technology. You'll hear a little bit later about our e-learning platform, and we recognize that as new technologies become available, that we need to take advantage of those, that not everything will be done in a face-to-face situation, and that more and more of what we do will be using technology to advantage. So I want to recognize the FINA Development Committee, the 5 individuals who are represented, one of whom is on the stage with me, Dennis Miller, who is the Vice President of Oceania, but basically the 5 FINA Vice Presidents. But I'd be remiss if I didn't also recognize the great work that Dr. Julio Maglione, our president, in giving us the great support, really his full and enthusiastic support throughout, to make sure that we had the resources to do the program in a good way. Cornell Marculescu in the FINA office, executive director, has been a great advocate of the FINA Development Program. And without his support, again, our efforts wouldn't be complete. And lastly, one of the individuals that you may have had a chance to meet here, Pera Miro, who's the head of development in the FINA office. Pera is part of a 3-person staff that carries out all the activities that you see and that you'll hear about today in terms of technical and administrative support from the FINA office. Pera, Melissa, Jessica, 3 people who really make a big difference for development worldwide. I want you to focus a little bit on that dollar amount, $38,940,000. Almost $39 million will be spent in this 4-year period from 2017 to 2021 on the FINA Development Program. I began as the chairman of the FINA Development Program in 2009, and our 4-year budget was $1 million. In this quadrennial, 2017 to 2021, almost $39 million towards development activities worldwide. And so when people talk about what's FINA doing and how does it spend its money, where does that budget go to, a big portion of it right now is going to development. Certainly prize money is important, our great competitions are important, promoting the sport in a whole variety of ways, and broadcast and technology and social media and all the platforms we're using. And in addition to that, there is a real commitment to developing the sport worldwide. And it's reflected not by just words, but by the dollars, by the financial resources put towards that. And so you see in front of you really 11 categories of where that money is going towards. But a very significant financial investment and ways in which each of you and your own national federations can take advantage of that. The first of the programs we'll talk a little bit about is the FINA Scholarship Program. Traditionally, our support had gone basically towards coaches and officials. And for the first time several years ago, we began a scholarship program for swimming athletes. Basically athletes who were within 3% of the B cutoff time, the B standard, for World Championships or the Olympic Games. That gave us a chance, hopefully, to have athletes move from universality status to qualifier status. And we all know that's a big step for a national federation, to go from having athletes who participate under the universality program to, for the first time, qualifying by having a B or an A standard. And through this program, we've had athletes who have not only come from beyond the B standard, but who have achieved A standards, including in the men's 1,500 meter freestyle in Rio, a young man from El Salvador who achieved an A standard beginning 3% above the B standard. So a lot of success, a great deal of activity within our scholarship program. I'm going to show you a short video and ask you to kind of take a look at an overview of the FINA Development Program.
My name is Sajal Prakash. I'm from India.
My name is Kimika Rahim. I am from Sri Lanka.
FINA program is a good opportunity for everyone. The coaching is one of the best I have seen. Miguel and David always support us, and to be with different people from different countries, it's like a life-changing opportunity.
We are like a family. Like sometimes we fight and sometimes we have bad practices.
If you keep working hard, one day, whatever you wanted to achieve, you will do it.
Really like that video a lot because you see athletes who are participating and benefiting from the program and giving you some of their own viewpoints and their own feelings related to their experience. The most basic of the FINA development programs have to do with clinics, and many of you are familiar with those. It's been the core going back to the very beginning in the early 1990s with the development program, The clinics have been absolutely at the core of that. You see some of the statistics related to those, but again, the idea that in 2018 alone, almost 120 clinics, 113 to date, with another 8 that were scheduled in the month of December, and almost 4,000 coaches and officials who were taking part in those programs. Great activities worldwide. Officials who for the first time are taking training courses, or others who have experience who are trying to gain additional skills. It goes across all the disciplines. So you see in 2018 we had 15 diving schools, particularly for diving judges, 200 judges certified in those programs. Same with artistic swimming, 23 of those across the world, 350 artistic swimming judges certified within the programs. The FINA schools for swimming are a little bit different because they're not certifying elements, so that looks a little bit smaller, but we use for swimming officials more experience-based certification. They have to be a referee at national championships, their Continental Association championships, and so on. Open water and water polo, again, certifying officials and referees so that they are able to carry out activities throughout the world. And you think about these numbers, so 280 water polo referees in 2018, and you think about it over a 4-year period, more than 1,000 referees for water polo are being certified worldwide, and that's a big impact. It's a big ability for us to spread the sport and promote it again worldwide. Another basic element of our program is a Continental Association support program. 4 of the Continental Associations receive $100,000 annually, Oceania $60,000 annually, so almost $500,000 per year going towards the Continental Associations to allow them to do a variety of activities. Each of those continents has chosen to go in a different direction based on their needs, and so we've tried to have a consistent program, but we've also have a varied program in which the individual Continental Associations decide what's most important for them, where they are in their stage of development, and again, how best to move forward. Next door, you've seen the Golden Clinic, the Coaches Golden Clinic. Some of the best coaches in the world, swimming coaches, who are sharing their expertise. And it's been a really unique experience. I was with some people yesterday who talked about just the excitement in the room, the Coaches Clinic, and hearing from coaches who have trained Olympic champions, Olympic gold medalists, what they did with those particular athletes and how it made a difference for them. We began a new program this year. The first of these took place about a month ago in the Americas and in Miami, Florida, and that's to train the National Aquatic Managers Program. It's to help those who administer National Federation offices. So those are executive directors, secretary generals, general secretaries, whatever the precise term may be in your federation, but to help those individuals to have a greater understanding of the resources available through FINA, but also some of the principles of how to work with boards of directors and how to work with those who are providing a variety of services within their sport and within their organization. So again, a very good chance to train the frontline people throughout the world, and we'll do this in each of the Continental Associations will have one aquatic managers program each year. So it's over again a 4-year period. We really can reach every single federation worldwide and help their administrative expertise move forward. You'll hear a little bit more about the e-learning platform that has been developed. We talked about technology being a big part of our program. The e-learning platform is allowing us, much like the GMS system has done, that all of you registered to come to China. It's the same situation where we have a lot of capabilities to use technology, and so not everything needs to be face-to-face. We've begun some of those programs. They'll expand a lot in the future years, but we have a very robust e-learning capability, and now we can use those for a variety of programs, both for FINA programs, Continental Association programs, and even National Federation programs. So a lot of capability and a lot of ability to move it forward. The next of these, and you'll hear a little bit more about this, are FINA Development Centers. There are now several centers worldwide that help us to train those scholarship athletes, because we know that it's important to get athletes into new circumstances with master coaches where they can train with individuals who have similar abilities, similar goals, similar aspirations, and to do that and sometimes get them out of perhaps what may either be a difficult situation at home or to get them out of a comfort zone at home and to be able to do more. We have just begun this year a coaches certification program, and this was now in swimming and will advance to the other disciplines, but the ability for us to certify coaches for those countries and those regions of the world that don't have their own certification program. Our goal, I don't know if we'll quite reach it, would be that every swimming coach on the pool deck in Tokyo 2020 has gone through a certification program, either one that's recognized within their home country and provides a lot of great expertise and ability, but also through the FINA program if there isn't one available in their host country. The next of these programs, probably the most ambitious, and again you'll hear a little bit more about it, is the Olympic Aquatic Support Program. And this is a program now where each national federation in the world can receive up to $25,000 a year over this 4-year period, $100,000 over 4 years, to be able to advance programs in one of 8 different categories. There were 159 federations that applied for this in 2018, and so 159 different programs. What was important for those national federations in order for them to make progress, and each of them had to submit their own proposals to do so. So it's been it's a varied program. It's a program of great depth and breadth. We continually try to expand it, make it better, respond to National Federation and Continental Association needs. But as I say, we've come a long way since 2009. It's reflected in the amount of budget that's put towards it, and I think we'll continue to see great results. So that gives you a little bit of an overview. The first of our speakers will be my longtime FINA Bureau colleague, Dennis Miller. He's the Vice President of Oceania, serves in a variety of roles within the Olympic community, including as Secretary General of the Oceania Olympic Association. And Dennis will talk to you a little bit about activities in Oceania. Dennis?
Good afternoon, everybody. Dale was mentioning getting people out of their comfort zone. Well, the people from the Pacific are outside their comfort zone with this weather, but I'm sure we'll enjoy the rest of the convention. I'll just be talking a little about the specifics in Oceania. That's our region. We have a lot of water and a lot of small countries, apart from Australia and New Zealand and Papua New Guinea, our big 3. So we have 15 federations. 12 are eligible for the program. As you're aware, you have to participate in FINA World Championships, but coming up for the next round, I think everybody will be eligible. And of the ones who are eligible, they all benefited from the program. I thought I'd just go country by country. Some of you may not know these countries, but we're all working hard to develop sport in our own way in swimming. So American Samoa, they have a pilot program over there. They've got a relatively new aquatic center. It's not really a competitive pool, but it does the job. And so there's some talent selection, pool access, coaching support and management support for people who are running the center. In Fiji, where I'm from, we've just employed a new general manager to improve our administration and governance of our federation. We've created a new website as part of his job, and we stage long course and short course national championships. Our school swimming program has gone crazy this year. We had about over 1,000 swimmers taking part, so the program's working very well in Fiji. Federated States of Micronesia is up north in the Pacific. They prepared their teams for the Oceania Championships and National Championships. They also hosted a sub-regional games in an island called Yap during the year. And so John West from Open Water was running some work up there, and they also purchased equipment for their programs. New Zealand, David was in the room earlier. Basically, they've putting their funds towards artistic swimming development and diving, and also some work on their swimming database and website development. Palau, another country up north, they have, as you can see, open water beach water polo, but they have a very ambitious program. They're doing very well. They've got a nice pool, and their coaches and development people move around the islands to run various programs in their country. Samoa. Samoa is a country to the east of Fiji. They're hosting the Pacific Games in July next year, which is 22 countries and 26 sports. Swimming is a compulsory sport on the Games program. And so they're developing their national team towards those games. And they also prepared their teams for the Oceania Championships, which was held in Papua New Guinea in June this year. So they have, those names I think are translated from Samoan to English, but they've also set up their database and software management and technology, so they're doing a very good job over there. We didn't have a lot of photos because the reports are still coming in, but Guam up north, they basically upgraded their facility, and they got a big storage container to look after all their equipment, and so they're doing quite well. And they also sent a competitive team to our Oceania Championships in Papua New Guinea. Australia, they concentrated on their water polo development and the technology to back up their development programs and competitions in water polo. I just like to highlight that Australia is our biggest member and our most successful member, but they're just as eligible as, say, Guam or Marshall Islands to take part in this program. Marshall Islands, again up north, small islands, they're looking at actually doing a swimming training camp in the mainland USA this year. And they're also certifying their lifeguards and their coaches. And because of lack of swimming pools, most of our islands don't have swimming pools or competitive pools. So we do a lot of work in open water. So they've been preparing athletes and coaches for their open water programs. Northern Mariana Islands is again up north in the Pacific. I think we started at number 2 there. We should have had a 1 and a 2. But basically, again, it's they're hosting, hopefully we'll be hosting the what's called the Pacific Mini Games in 2021. That's for small countries to host games in our part of the world. They've got an issue with their venue at the moment, but hopefully they'll sort those problems out soon. But also they sent a good team down to the Oceania Swimming Championships in Papua New Guinea during the year. It's very expensive flying around the Pacific. If you remember that map, if you want to fly from Guam to Fiji, you're looking at about $4,000 US return. So it's can be a bit of a killer getting around the region. Cook Islands, off to the east, they have a very successful schools program in the lagoons, and hopefully they'll have a pool in the near future. And they also sent quite a successful team to the Oceania Championships in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea. I just thought I'd touch on our Continental support program, which the Oceania Swimming Association manages. We have Learn to Swim programs in that overall program. We have a grant for the Oceania Swimming Championships that were held in Papua New Guinea. Our Oceania Championships are every 2 years. So in 2019 we don't have a championship, so we're looking at other ways of utilizing the funds. Our own administration, and we also had a strategic planning workshop down in Melbourne recently, where we looked at our strategic plan, our key performance indicators, and how we could improve our work for the development of aquatics in the region. As far as I think I mentioned, we only have swimming and open water in most of our islands. Only Australia and New Zealand really have water polo development. But with the move into beach water polo, I think you're going to see a lot more islands picking up on beach water polo, and I know some of them already are doing that. And we're looking forward to seeing the demonstration events at the World Championships next year in Korea. So that's basically a snapshot of Oceania, and I'd be happy to answer any questions later on. Thank you. I think I'm ahead of time too.
Thanks, Dennis. Thanks, Dennis, very much. Our next speaker will be my FINA Bureau colleague, also from Barbados, Errol Clarke. Errol has been a member of the FINA Technical Swimming Committee, was a swimming referee at the London Olympic Games, and is also Secretary-Treasurer of the Continental Association, WANA, and he'll talk a little bit about activities in the Americas. Errol?
Very good afternoon to everyone. The FINA Olympic Aquatic Support Program has provided the federations of the Americas with a resource which now enables them to further develop and to increase their competitiveness. As a result, many of the federations are now able to achieve objectives which previously they could not. There are 44 national federations in the Americas, varying in population, from 41,000 persons to 329 million persons. This table gives an overview of the programs which were undertaken by each of the federations. On the left-hand side is shown the categories which were specified by FINA, and because of the different needs of each federation, you will note that the projects undertaken are very varied. For this presentation, I've selected projects undertaken by 4 national federations, which firstly will illustrate that they allow federations to achieve goals which previously they could not. Secondly, allow them to take the aquatics into the community. Thirdly, to develop facilities which they are in great need of renovations. And fourthly, to enable them to advance their swimming program. The first federation I've selected is Costa Rica National Swimming Federation. And in order to motivate their swimmers and to bring new life into the federation, they have used the 2008 funding for a swimming program, to participate in a swimming program in a sub-regional competition and a regional competition in water polo. They succeeded in taking, the program allowed them to take 84 swimmers to the competition and 10 team officials, something which with their normal resources they would not have been able to do. As a result, they were able to win the overall championship as well as to win the first three places in the 11 to 12 age group and the first place in the 15 to in the over 15 age group. In water polo, they were able to take teams in all three of the age groups and succeeded in winning the senior male and female championship, as well as placing second in the 16 and under age group. Second federation which I've chosen is the Antigua and Barbuda Swimming Federation. They decided that they wanted to introduce swimming into the primary schools, into 12 primary schools, and in order to bring swimming aquatics to the grassroots communities. Their objective was to select 2 schools in the first year and to have 40 children participate. There are currently 45 children participating, and they've been assisted by 5 coaches, along with these teachers from the schools who shepherd the children. In the case of Colombia, they've used the funds to renovate and rehabilitate diving facilities in 4 of their major cities. And secondly, to establish an e-learning program. And thirdly, to institute a series of seminars, training seminars for federation executives and presidents of regional leagues. In the case of St. Vincent, they have used the funding to train their swimmers. They've recently acquired a new facility, new pool, and their objective is to produce better trained swimmers with better techniques. The funds were used to send 5 of their national swimmers and a senior coach to the Azura swim camp in Florida. And as a result, there were marked improvements in the performances of those swimmers. This table gives a comparison of the times the swimmers were performing before they went to the swim camp and times that were achieved in a competition very soon after participating in the swim camp. You will note particularly in the 200 frees, there have been some significant improvements in the times. The program there's been a resounding response from all of the federations in the Americas that the program has been of great benefit to them, and they have been very encouraged and motivated to further the interests of their federation. In closing, I'd like to thank the FINA Development Department, the Antigua and Barbuda Swimming Federation, the Costa Rica Federation, and the St. Vincent Federation, who supplied much of the material and the details which I have presented to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Errol. Our next speaker is Dr. Mohamed Diop. Mohamed is a member of the FINA Bureau. He is a distinguished medical doctor in Dakar, Senegal, and he will be speaking about activities on the continent of Africa and how the Continental Association program is making an impact for Africa. Dr. Diop.
Please take your handset because I will speak in French. I'm more comfortable in French. I give you some time for that, if you are ready. OK. I will talk, je vais parler, s'il vous plaît, de l'Afrique de façon plus globale, avant de vous parler de ce que l'appui de la FINA a pu apporter. Et pour terminer, je parlerai des espoirs que nous pouvons avoir. Alors, quand on parle de l'Afrique, très souvent, on pense à ce qui s'était passé en Sydney, à 2000. Ou bien, plus récemment, on pense à nos grands champions, Chad Leclos, Van der Broek, Farida Osman, qui ont eu des médailles au niveau des championnats du monde de 2017, à Budapest. Mais il faut bien comprendre que ce n'est pas que cela. C'est d'abord 54 pays qui sont autour de la CANA. Mais parmi ces 54 pays, il n'y en a que 2 qui pratiquent toutes les disciplines olympiques de la natation. Et juste pour vous dire que depuis 1970, pas 73, la Confédération africaine de natation est née et a été dirigée par 2 personnalités du sport que vous connaissez bien, qui sont M. Moustapha Lafawi et M. Sam Ramzami. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'on peut dire par rapport à ce que c'est la natation en Afrique? Je vais vous dire qu'elle est divisée en 4 zones. Une zone au nord, une zone ouest-centre, une zone à l'est et une zone pour terminer au sud. Alors la zone du nord, si vous voyez un peu, en termes de culture de natation, a un niveau assez élevé. En termes de résultats, vous avez connu les résultats de Oussama Melouli et d'autres grands champions du Nord. En termes de facilité, en termes d'infrastructure, on peut dire que c'est une zone plus ou moins pourvue en infrastructure, même si parfois il y a des déficits et qu'elles peuvent les utiliser qu'en certaines périodes de l'année. Et en termes d'administration et de finances, on peut dire que ce sont des fédérations assez structurées qui, quand même, peuvent avoir un personnel administratif autour de 6 à 20 personnes. Alors, quand on passe à la zone 2, il s'agit d'une zone qui est plutôt en dehors de 2 ou 3 pays qui n'a pratiquement pas une culture de natation, une histoire de natation, qui n'a pas de résultats. Ses meilleurs résultats, c'est un nageur qui a été 17e, donc à la porte d'une demi-finale mondiale, qui n'a pratiquement pas d'infrastructure, pratiquement pas de piscine. Et sur le plan administration et finances, je peux vous dire que c'est le bénévolat complet, donc pas de siège, même pas de secrétaire permanent. La zone 3, c'est l'Est. C'est l'Est qui a cette culture natation qui s'est développée et qui a la chance de mêler, pour certains pays, la natation au niveau de la scolarité, et ce qui est un avantage certain. En termes de résultats, vous avez connu un finaliste, Dunford, qui est du Kenya, et en termes d'infrastructure, je le disais tout à l'heure, puisque c'est un peu associé à les écoles, on a quand même assez d'infrastructures. Et en termes d'administration, on peut dire qu'il y a beaucoup à faire dans ce domaine. Et la zone 4, c'est la zone que vous connaissez plus en termes de résultats. C'est la zone du Sud. Et donc, c'est là où est l'Afrique du Sud. C'est une grande culture de natation. C'est des résultats que nous connaissons tous. Et c'est un nombre assez important d'infrastructures et une administration forte quand même dans certains pays. Alors, c'était important de parler de tout ça pour vous dire qu'en 1982, 6 pays, en 2016, 18 pays au championnat d'Afrique, et en 2018, 31 pays qui participent au championnat d'Afrique. Et entre les deux, qu'est-ce que vous voyez? C'est l'appui aux fédérations, l'appui à la FINA. Donc, le premier impact, le plus important impact, c'est la possibilité de ces pays de participer à un championnat d'Afrique. On avait l'habitude de dire qu'on retrouvait beaucoup plus de pays africains au championnat du monde qu'au championnat d'Afrique. Et ça, c'est un frein terrible parce que le fait de pouvoir participer, pour certains pays, ça a été une première participation. Ils n'avaient jamais eu à participer parce qu'ils n'avaient pas ces moyens. Pour certains pays qui venaient avec un ou deux nageurs, c'était la possibilité d'avoir des équipes de relais. Et l'impact au-delà de la participation, c'est aussi rendre notre championnat d'Afrique beaucoup plus médiatique. C'est aussi pouvoir mieux vendre ce championnat d'Afrique. Donc, à ce niveau, on peut dire que l'impact de la subvention de la FINA a été extraordinaire. Et comme vous le voyez sur cette diapo, il y a une augmentation de 30% en termes de participation. Mais quels sont les autres points qui ont impacté? D'abord, la possibilité, je vous ai dit, dans certains pays, il n'y avait même pas un employé. Et vous savez tous la charge de travail qu'il y a à faire au niveau de ces fédérations, la possibilité de recruter au moins un secrétaire permanent. Et ça a été un point très important aussi. L'autre point fondamental, c'est la possibilité d'acheter du matériel. Le petit matériel, des chronomètres muraux, des logiciels pour permettre le déroulement des compétitions, donc tous des camps de water polo. Donc toutes ces activités-là vont permettre, comme disait tout à l'heure Dale, de diversifier la pratique et ne plus se limiter qu'à la natation ou à l'eau libre. Les websites, certains ont pensé qu'il était important de mieux communiquer. Et ça, c'était une occasion, à travers cette subvention, de le faire. L'objectif, c'est de développer toutes les disciplines aquatiques. Et ça, c'est pour nous fondamental. Et je pense que nous y irons pas à pas. Et pour ce faire, il y a deux points très importants. Et là, je pense aux perspectives et aux espoirs que nous avons. C'est le premier centre en Afrique qui va être créé pour permettre à nos meilleurs sportifs de pouvoir commencer leur carrière dans leur pays et de pouvoir la terminer dans leur pays ou dans leur zone régionale. Parce que ce que nous avons constaté, c'est que nos meilleurs nageurs, très souvent, étaient obligés de s'exiler et d'aller dans des pays plus développés. Et ce mécanisme-là, forcément, entraînait beaucoup de déperditions. Donc, ce point est pour nous un point fondamental. Ça, c'est dans le cadre plus global du développement. Et l'autre point que je voulais noter aussi, c'est à propos du FINA Day. Nous avons vu que le FINA Day a été en Afrique un événement extrêmement important. Pouvoir financer cette journée et permettre de faire un tapage, une médiatisation de cet événement, de la natation, était pour nous une ouverture dans des pays où la natation était un sport très restreint. C'était une grande opportunité. Donc voilà un peu ce que je voulais dire de façon globale, quel a été l'impact de cet appui de la FINA. Et le plus grand espoir, c'est que demain, on peut espérer avoir dans des pays africains une Penny Haynes ou un Chad Lokolo qui puisse commencer sa carrière et la terminer là-bas. Merci de votre attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Diop. Our next speaker, our last speaker, is Azat Kadyrov from Kazan. And probably a few years ago, very few in this room knew about the city of Kazan, but it has been a major center for aquatic activities, beginning in 2015 with the World Championships and now with World Cup events in swimming, diving, and artistic swimming. Azad, if you'll make your presentation about the new FINA Development Center in Kazan.
Thank you, Dale. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everyone. Добрый вечер. Хайырлы кеш, кадерле дуслар. I would prefer to speak in Tatar language, but afraid not everybody can understand. So, it is a great pleasure to be here, to be invited here, and to be present Kazan and Tatarstan at the FINA World Aquatic Convention. And first of all, let me deliver best regards on behalf of the President of Tatarstan, Mr. Minikhanov, Mayor of the city, and Minister of Sport. Happy to be here, happy to see many familiar faces, many friends. And now, before I start my presentation, just would like to start from the simple question. Please, can you raise hands who knew or heard about Kazan 8 years ago, as Daley mentioned it? Seems to be not so many. So, thank you, friends. Thanks for FINA, for the great trust of FINA. Now, thanking for the huge number of aquatic sport activities in Kazan. City is getting very well known. And the statistics show that after all these events, the number of people practicing aquatics in Tatarstan increased from 66 up to 90,000 for these years, and the number of swimming pools has grown from 150 up to 225. At the moment, Kazan leads in number of swimming pools in Russia and shares the rank with the most developed city in the world. So far, Kazan has hosted many international FINA events, including the 16th FINA World Championship and the Masters. There is no doubt that staging of such events has fundamentally changed the sports infrastructure in the whole. And let me say, not only infrastructure and the mentality of the people. Since 2011, Kazan aquatic venues increased the number of reaching 8 50-meter pools and 150 25-meter pools. Generally speaking, about 1,500 people every day do sport at the Aquatic Palace in Kazan. This is a huge legacy of the FINA events and aquatic sports. So we always strive for further perspective and never rest on our laurels. Thus, let me tell you about our new activity supported by FINA, Ministry of Sport of the Russian Federation, Russian Swimming Federation, and the Government of the Republic of Tatarstan, and present you FINA Development Center in Kazan, which was opened this year. In September 22nd, an agreement on establishing FINA Development Center in Kazan was signed between Minister of Sport of the Republic of Tatarstan and FINA. So far, such centers are functioning in the USA, Thailand, and Senegal. I'm particularly glad that our organization, Directorate for Sports and Social Project, responsible for deliver this project for the final stage and work in operation with this. I also would like again express gratitude to FINA and the Russian Swimming Federation and the Minister of Sport to fully support this project. The objective for the FINA Development Center is to create conditions for scholarship holders, which will allow revealing the maximum potential of every athlete, both in sport and personal areas. Each athlete is faced with the task of improving results from the moment they arrive at the center and qualify for the World Championships and the Olympic Games. In order to provide the condition for the efficient and comfortable stay of every athlete in the center, we have chosen the Kazan School for the Olympic Reserve, where every athlete can realize their potential and achieve good results. The venue was commissioned in 2013, but the pool, it's recently new, was commissioned in 2016. At the territory, there are a number of open sport grounds, multi-purpose sport halls, swimming pool, completely new campus, and a hotel for the athletes. The center is located only 7 kilometers from the heart of the city, and, at an environmentally clean forest zone. As I mentioned, the swimming pool completely new and meeting all international standards. It was open 2016. This is the one pool which was moved from the Kazan arena to the Olympic Sports School Reserve. We also keep the legacy and use this possibility to increase the number of venues for aquatics. And you know, we bought 3 pools from Kazan Arena and from water polo stadium and distributed at the Kazan, Nabережные Челны, and the Alexeyevsky City. All the 300 athletes train daily at the Kazan school. About 200 champions and winners at the world and European champions in various sports have graduated from the Kazan school for the period of its existence. We had a very accurate process to selecting the head coach and decided it would be Gulnar Garipova that trains a number of athletes who have achieved high results in swimming. Her students are winners of the World Cup series and participants of the World Championships as well. The head coach closely with the Russian Swimming Federation, and she speaks in English. The FINA Development Center employs a number of specialists. Of course, it's necessary for any such kind of facilities. All scholarship holders will be accommodated at the new campus, as I mentioned it, equipped with everything they need for comfortable stay during their stay in Kazan. The duration of the scholarship program implies stay of athletes in Kazan for the period from 4 up to 12 months a year. We understand that apart from training session, each athlete would like to have their own free time. So for this purpose, we are ready to offer scholars supplementary service of the center, such as attendance of the major sporting events in Kazan, Russian language lessons, excursions and transport services. In order to be selected for the program, one should go through the 6 steps shown in the slide, starting from submitting the request to FINA by the National Federation, up to preparing all the logistics related for the athlete's arrival at the center. To facilitate the entry to the country, the center provides assistance in visa-related matters and getting 1-year visa. As for our future steps, in the next 2 years, we plan to launch the scholarship program for several swimmers in January, February 2019. Is starting from next year, together with FINA, we consider the possibility of launching the similar program for the diving. In addition to the scholarship program for athletes, the center realized FINA educational program for coaches and officials. In November, we successfully held FINA clinic for coaches. More than 30 coaches took part in this event. At large, 6 FINA educational programs will be implemented in next 2 years. Programs for coaches and officials will be held as part of the FINA events in Kazan. As Dale mentioned it, next year we will host 3 World Cup. It's artistic swimming, swimming and diving in Kazan. Please be welcome. And we are looking forward for the future events. We are ready to answer all your questions. We have a booth at the convention. So finally, I would like to offer a short video about FINA Development Center in Kazan.
Kazan is the capital of the Republic of Tatarstan, as one of the largest economic, scientific and cultural centers in the country. It is considered the 3rd capital of Russia. In 2005, Kazan celebrated its 1000th anniversary. Kazan is the sports capital of Russia that has hosted about 100 World and European Championships, World Cups and all Russian high-profile competitions in various sports. The FINA Development Center is based at the Olympiad Sports Complex of the Kazan Olympic Reserve School. All program participants will stay in new campus. The pool is equipped with everything required for effective training. The pool has 10 50 meters lanes. All staff at the center do everything necessary for the athlete to help achieve desired results. My name is Gulnar Garipova. I'm the head coach of FINA Development Center in Kazan. Welcome to Kazan. Welcome to Russia.
Again, thanks, Mr. President, thanks FINA, thanks Development Committee for this great support. Hopefully this center will work and will be fruitful for all the athletes who will come to Kazan. And please be welcome to Kazan, to Tatarstan, to Russia for the FINA events. Thank you so much for your attention.